Lesson 13.10 is called CPCTC flowchart proofs. Say that 10 times fast. CPCTC. Every other letter is a C. That is an acronym for this. I'm not going to write it again because it's right here. It stands for corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC. What that means is I have to take proofs sometimes a step further because this is wanting me to prove that two different angles are congruent. And I can't do that until I've proven that these two triangles are congruent. So if I can take the necessary steps to say, well, these triangles are exactly the same, so yeah, G and U are going to be the same because they're corresponding. They're in the same placement in this triangle. That's all we're adding to it, is just one more step. And I see that if I'm trying to prove angles are congruent or sides are congruent, not simply just triangles. Okay, so I would look at these and I see in order side, angle, side, SAS. So I would prove the reasoning. And then I'd go up here and say, okay, well, I need a pair of congruent sides, angles, and other sides. So I would drop those down, and then I'm going to go FH is congruent to VT. I think it's going to want you to put them in the right order. And then the reason would be, I thought I selected this, but given, because it's in our picture. I did down here, I guess. And then the angle, I can call it H, is congruent to T. That's given. And then I would say that side HG is congruent to TU. And that's given. So that proves I got to name the triangles in the right order. I'm going to say FHG is congruent to, let me look here, that would be VTU. Because I go from a vertice, I go short side, or the one tick mark, to that big obtuse angle and then out. So that would be the same. And that's because of side, angle, side congruency. So then we would finish up by saying, okay, yeah, angle G is congruent to angle U. Look in the names of them. In your congruency statement, the letters of the angle should correspond. It's the third letter and the third letter. So they are congruent because their corresponding parts of what I've proven to be congruent triangles will also be congruent. CPCTC. Just fun to say. Let's try one more. Prove that line or segment IG is congruent to UW. That's where we want to end up. So again, knowing I'm not just proving the triangles to be congruent tells me I've got to take it another step because of CPCTC. Okay, so I'd look at these triangles and I see angle, angle, side. The side is not included, so I would pick angle, angle, side. So I'm going to have angle, angle, side. The angle I see congruent would be G and W because they have the one tick mark, and that's given. I would see angle H and V because of the two tick marks, and then I would see IH being congruent to UV or vice versa. Then I need to label my triangles in a corresponding order. I'm going to say IGH. And so that would be the angle with nothing going to the obtuse angle. So it'd be UWV. And you can see where IG is in the name. It's the first and second letter, and so is UW. So yes, they would be congruent because I've proven that the triangles are congruent and that those parts correspond. And that's it. CPCTC.